We priced it like that so no one would select that because it doesn't make sense. Okay. Twitch, right? It's more expensive to do 2 days. Let's do a full 3-day registration.
And now I introduce my friend Shin Sadian from Vienna. Brachial access compared with standard procedure to a device limiting arm movement for less bleeding complication. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. I would also like to thank Professor Greenhalgh for making this possible and for the kind invitation to share some of our thoughts with you. These are my disclosures. And I'm trying to switch gears now from large bore to smaller bore. We all know that an access from above is in some cases the best choice, in some cases a good choice, and in some cases probably not really the way to go. Like here in a dissection of the external iliac artery, and it's much easier to find the true lumen in these cases. However, there's a clear downside to brachial accesses, and these are the complication rates. And these are complication rates for cases who are symptomatic and usually with small sheaths, 4 French diameter sheaths. So we talk about roughly 6 to 7% relevant complications needing some kind of surgical intervention. Therefore, we aimed to look in a randomized trial whether we can address at least one of the reasons for these bleeding complications, namely insufficient compression. And as we usually access these brachial arteries or the cubital artery in or close
We're very proud in vascular surgery of how much training we deliver. An example of this is with COVID. We delivered training online, and those are resources that are still available.
I'll bet in our discussion we'll decide that we all use a lot of these methods. I don't think anyone is the best, but there are some that are better in certain clinical situations.
Whilst most vascular access is for renal disease, a global problem, there is also other diseases that vascular access is required for.
The next challenge in the Arctic world is the repair of the arch, and we now have a total endovascular repair of the arch, and we have proposed a percutaneous approach.
We often focus on amputations and revascularization and ulceration, but actually probably a larger problem is the premature death associated with diabetic foot ulceration.
We're going to have a dedicated session on appropriateness of care, which I think is going to be a really powerful session, lots of important messages.
Great colleagues, welcome to Charing Cross live in person once again. So, once again, we have a live Charing Cross, but we're also broadcasting to many frontiers of the world, and it's very early in the morning. We nevertheless are going to begin, and Marek Venomo and Jason Lee are kindly moderators of this session, expert in the subject. And I call upon Cameron Moderesi of Harrow, London, Co-Detect Outcomes, Imperial College and Northwick Park.
Good morning, chairs, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak today about our experience and outcomes of running an aortic aneurysm and EVAR surveillance program through the COVID-19 pandemic. I have listed as many of the participants, past and present, as best as I can remember, and I apologize if I've missed any names. I would also like to state that we haven't had the chance to include the Imperial College dataset in today's talk, but we intend to do so in due course. I do not have any potential conflicts of interest. The Co-Detect study involved reviewing the data for patients on our EVAR and aortic aneurysm database through the first UK COVID pandemic, and that being described or defined as the 26th of March 2020 to 25th of March 2021. We looked at all hospital admissions, reason for admission, any evidence of primary or secondary rupture in these groups. Our aortic aneurysm protocol is listed here, is self-explanatory, and I expect people in the UK to adhere to this, give or take some local variations, so nothing interesting, so we know what we're looking at. And our EVAR protocol, again, is listed here, is what I would expect people in the UK to adhere to, give or take local variations.